Satisfy your need for happiness through your own curiosity with the Ranveer Show. What's been India's stand on both these conflicts? Because publicly, we do give a bit of a diplomatic stand. I'm also asking you the one layer deep geopolitical angle. Give both the public and the layer deep version.
Okay, so the public viewpoint and perspective and stand of India is that war is bad. This is not the time for war. Mr. Modi has been saying that since 2022, I believe. Even when the last time Mr. Putin came to India for the India-Russia annual summit, Mr. Modi said in public that this is not a time for war. So India's stand has been consistent in this matter, public stand, that any conflict that's going on right now, there needs to be a diplomatic solution to that. Please stop fighting, go and sit across the table and negotiate a reasonable settlement, which is, both can accept that. So that applies to Israel versus Hamas. It also applies to Russia versus NATO in Ukraine. And maybe Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Putin or their intermediaries can come together and maybe the NATO, whatever, and work it out, talk it out, find a diplomatic solution. That has been India's official and consistently official position. One layer deep, well, it would not be incorrect to say that India has to some extent benefited from the Ukraine conflict because now Russia is our top supplier of energy, petroleum, and we were initially getting that petroleum at very, very discounted rates. Even now we are getting favorable rates, not above the overall global thing. So and this conflict, the Ukraine conflict, has actually brought India higher in stature because India is playing a significant role geopolitically, not just as a mediator, but also as a nation that Russia and the US are both wooing. So the Russians need India as a powerful, large nation like India. If India is friendly with Russia and maintains diplomatic relations and does not go along with the US sanctions on Russia, that's a significant pressure release valve for Russia. And India buying so much Russian oil also makes sure that Russia doesn't have to go entirely in the Chinese lap and become a Chinese vassal or Chinese puppet. So India is very important from Russia from that perspective. And China is the only major threat from Russia apart from the US because of the large shared border. So if India gets more powerful, then it's also good for Russia from that perspective. So India is now playing a very central role in geopolitics because of all these things. The Americans want India on their side, at least vis-a-vis China, if not vis-a-vis Russia. The Chinese are worried about India's rise and India becoming more and more pally with the US. So overall, these conflicts have actually brought more attention on India and they have helped India rise to a significant top 4 position globally from the geopolitics perspective. And obviously because of the rise of China and the threat of China, lots of nations have this China plus one policy, which means that, okay, we are manufacturing most of our stuff in China, but we need to have a plus one nation. And that nation, the only nation that can serve that role is India. So you're going to have semiconductor chips manufactured in India. We're going to have all kinds of other stuff manufactured in India. India is the number one destination globally now for FDIs, foreign direct investment. So India is going to rise as a manufacturing power as long as we play our cards well. So India has benefited from the Ukraine conflict. Whether people realize it or not, it's not like we wanted to benefit from it, but when something happens, you've got to make the best of the cards you are dealt. And India has done that really well. When it comes to the Gaza conflict, it doesn't hurt India, it doesn't benefit India. It can hurt more than benefit India. Because if the conflict, there's a big conflagration in the West Asia region, then our near abroad region gets destabilized. It could affect the goods and whatever else is flowing into India. India, whether we know it or not, depends on the sea a lot. We have this gigantic seaboard and we are a maritime nation. So much of our imports, especially oil, energy, all that come in from the sea. And we don't want a disruption of all these supply chains. So if the West Asia region becomes really destabilized, it could actually hurt India. So that is our perspective on West Asia. From the Ukraine perspective, we have actually kind of benefited. That's the one level deep answer.
If you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out these curated playlists that we've made especially for you related to the subject that was spoken about in this clip.